Africa is home to some of the world's prominent cultures and outstanding art never witnessed elsewhere. Cross-cultural exchange and interaction has become a common happening because the people of this continent have learned to coexist through appreciating each other's heritage. These fostered through initiatives such as the Art Exchange. Take a look at this.
They say I know nothing, 'cause I'm so young now, but I say that you are better than they ever guessed.
Africa is known to be a hub of rich culture that is unparalleled to any other in the world. Our diversity in culture is our leading unifying factor. The need to promote cross-cultural interaction has for 2 years now promoted the execution of the Art Exchange program among Kenya and her neighbors.
My name is Erica Mascaro. I'm the project manager of Art Exchange. I've been living in Kenya for the past 8 years and taking care of Art Exchange for the past 2 years. Art Exchange is a project co-funded by the European Union, and we're part of a bigger program that is called African Union, European Union Youth Hub. And basically we represent one of the clusters. We represent the arts, culture and sports cluster. And today you can see the conference that is happening is it's basically a summary of what Art Exchange is about, which is really about exchange between Africa and Europe, but also exchange among people of different sectors coming together. So the conference today, it's mainly about discussing on how arts and culture can support communities and territories to develop in a way that is sustainable.
Well, there is always Africa. We have cultural similarity and cultural exchange because the people are moving from one country to another country and learning some things and taking back to the home. So there's a lot of issues in Kenya and as well as Somalia and Tanzania and all. Large group of Somali people are spread to the all East African countries, and they are one who is taking the things back to the Somalia. Like me, I'm educated outside and now I'm coming back talking about the biodiversity, climate change, everything's museum rebuilding, taxidermists, all of these things we are going to bring it back, and there's always similarity between different countries.
I think that cultural and creative sector could be a sector that unify, make people collaborate each other, and so we are trying to do this because in Italy our cooperative approach was very successful to valorize cultural heritage and also to create many jobs in this sector.
The youth were the target participants for this program, which seeks to reinstate the importance of culture to this age demographic, which has been seemingly uprooted from their native African cultures by Western influence.
CSP has been working in using art as a way to work with communities and specifically mainly youth and women. That's definitely one of our expertise, and that's why we use art to do what we do. Youth, because that's definitely one of the target that was most affected by the situation, by the pandemic, and in general the arts sector and youth need support, and that's why we came in with this project.
Changing rivers, giving me stars, moonlight days.
African countries, you know, the culture is a part of the identity of the human being. So if your children does not know your culture, they are lost. Next generation will be lost. Therefore, to strengthen their identity, you have to revive all the cultural activities so the youth can participate in a very slow learning process so that they can be strengthen their identity and they don't move to the desert and the Mediterranean. You know, the youth in Africa, we have a migration. The migration is because of lack of identity and not belonging to this country. So if you belong to the country and understand the resources and the value of that country, you want to stand with that country.
Some of the benefactors could not help but express how much Art-Xchange has equipped them with the know-how to foster art and cultural growth among their peers and countrymen.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number ones.
It has been way over my expectation, because when we came here, we just thought like the normal workshop centers. We come just participate for a small workshop, then we go. We were taken to live tours on some collegial museums in Italy, some historical cultures where we used to watch them in the movies, like the Gladiator, something like that, those kind of movies where we used to watch them. But this workshop, it has really helped us to see how those things can be managed, the formation of a corporation, how we can take the knowledge that we gained from these 2 days. In fact, the time was short, but the 2 days, what we learned from there, we can go and help and can help these cultural sites that's in Mogadishu, like the museum, which is empty now. And we are lucky that we have the director who came and participated, the director of the museum who came and participated with us in this workshop. So it was very informative and educative.
The program was also an opportunity for countries that have been experiencing challenges in establishing proper art and cultural platforms to get the necessary tips of doing so in order to revive an industry with immense socio-cultural and economic potential.
Mogadishu Youth Hub, there's no cultural center there was no cultural center in Mogadishu. So thanks to this program at Xchange, they helped us create a center where the youth can come, meet together, network, partner, or mentorship together, and can also do some small advocacy programs where we can help the youth. They come together, do some activities, maybe do some collaborations, joints where they can showcase their skills, where we can mentor them to improve their entrepreneurship skills. You know, these kids, they have the skills, they have the talent, but there was that need for a center where they can come and improve those talents, a center where they can be taught on how to make their talent, to professionally grow their talent. So this center was formed by, it came as an Art-Xchange product.
We have a program in Somalia for reviving the National Museum, as well as preserving our culture and nature, both of them. Somalia is emerging from civil war, but we shouldn't forget the role of culture in the peacemaking. So we have learned a lot of things from the previous 2 days workshop. We have learned how to revive sites which was ruined or abandoned, and how to build it with the local community. So there was a lot of technical issues which can be taken to Somalia and apply for Somali.
You became this superhuman man for me.
Well, when I first invited here, I didn't have any information, but through the training and the workshops, I've learned a lot of how I'm going to revive archaeological sites or abandoned area, and how to interact with the communities and make a sustainable development within the community, with the indigenous people. So it is a lot of information, and we have learned a lot of things to take to the home.
And it will be better than just fine. You watch this space, I'm telling you.
Art in action portrayed through music was particularly show-stopping as the songbird of the day hit every single note.
I say that you are better than they ever get. So keep walking and keep going.
So the one I had before was extremely interactive. In the groups where we were learning, there was a lot of peer-to-peer learning where you get to share like ideas with each other of how you can grow, how you can plan, how you can make a living off your art. And it really opened my eyes to the fact that we have so many resources amongst us as artists. So that was something that I really enjoyed. And it also challenged me to make like a plan, like a 5-year plan for my music and be super specific of how exactly am I going to achieve that and actually have that with me. So I'm super excited to like implement the things that I'm like, okay, am I there at the goals? And now today was really nice to get kind of a big picture of like Art-Xchange, on a kind of global level, seeing all the big projects that are happening. Like I'm super excited with what's happening in Somalia with the museum, like they're our neighbors. And I was just thinking about how can we support them, you know? And I think it's so important to preserve culture. And it's great to see that that's happening. And just to hear about dance, like the dance that's happening in Tanzania, and also how they're collaborating East Africa-wise made me think of, I wish we had an East Africa-wise festival for musicians, like that was being pushed more. So yeah, being in this space has really opened my eyes to the possibility and like, how can I be part of the change?
The COVID-19 pandemic was a huge blow to the first edition of the Art-Xchange program, but through resilience and adapting to the new norm, the second edition materialized.
Our project started exactly when Kenya was going on a lockdown. So you can imagine an exchange project definitely was affected by what happened. But we didn't give up. We adjusted to new ways, and our partners were amazing to do that. The Go Down Art Center transformed their training to be online. We did the same. We found new platforms to do that. So basically, trainings were mainly transformed to be online, which at the same time was an opportunity because there was definitely an exchange possible online between Europe and Africa. Of course, in that case, it was virtual, but also very interesting and maybe also easier to access. So we had to adjust and transform some of the activities to be online. But there was also an opportunity for us to reach more people.
I think it was a very timely project, especially with starting when Kenya was going in lockdown. Creatives were really affected, especially in Africa, in Kenya. So I think the project was really helpful in giving creatives somewhere to go, to learn, to network, to meet, to share their struggles. As you'll see even from our social media pages or interacting with participants, they really found community and are able to figure out how to build businesses out of their art, especially in a pandemic. So it's been really important.
It is sad to hear that the program has run its course, but now more than ever, local artists need to step up and transform their crafts into money-making ventures.
It is a 2-year project co-funded by the European Union. So we started last year. We were doing a lot of virtual trainings. So this year is when we've started having more of these physical activities due to COVID and also limiting the attendance. And yeah, so it ends next year. We'll have some big conferences to sum up all the activities that we've been doing. But ideally, the project duration has been 2 years.
Next question. What makes you anxious?
So I would advise people who have like skills and talents as artists, the first thing I would say is you need to invest in not just your art, but also learning the business of just being an artist. And you can just learn from general business people, you know, learn about how can you manage your money as a, you know, personal finance. If you know how to manage your money, you'll be a better artist. Number 2, learn how to network and to ask for things. Artists that go for are artists who put themselves in spaces, build their networks and talk. And then thirdly, like, actually focus on your craft. You know, there's no point of saying, I want to be an artist, but you don't commit time to it, you're not professional. So, you know, do your research. There's a school of YouTube now, you know. There's so many resources out there. So I'd say that there's definitely lots of possibilities for artists to make money, but you need to be committed and to put in the time.
Me stars, moonlight days, I don't know when you became this superhuman man for me.
When we come together, great things happen. And now some more cross-cultural terms, and this time we take it to the culinary domain.